I have no ideas for content. Hello everybody, my name is Killer10G5 and welcome to another video. And I know that most of the Dokkan global population is probably older than my dad, but, you know, there are some kids out there that need a little guidance. So I've taken it upon myself, as a person with no life and several LRs, to teach these kids with a mental capacity less than a goldfish how to get good at Dokkan without stealing mommy's credit card.
Now, at the beginning of the game, you're gonna have to go through this tutorial, but we all know that you skip through that like a smooth-brained moron, so here's the rundown on how to play the game. See these guys? They're super cool units. These are the guys you're going to be using in battle, except that you won't have them because you have trash SR units. Now you might be wondering, what's the difference between a UR and an SR? Well, let me get to the rankings and I'll tell you about them. Rankings go normal, which are completely useless, don't use them. Then you got rares, also useless, don't use these either. Guess what? Those stupid SRs that you have, also completely useless. For the most part, there's like a few good ones. SSRs, the ones that you want to get from summons, but let's just say with your luck you probably won't. URs, the one that you're always going to use in battle, like the actually good ones. And then LRs, you probably won't have any of these except for the Prime Battle ones. Now, you might be wondering, what are Prime Battles?
I'm not gonna tell you, because I'm gonna milk this series for all that I can.
Now, when you start looking at your characters, you're going to look at three important things. The leader skill, their link skills, and their categories. Now, these are all important, but I'm going to go by them one by one. I classify there to be two types of leader skills. All-around leader skills that boost everybody, but, you know, they're unfaithful and a dirty slut, so we want the single-minded and faithful category leader skills. These boost a certain type of category and are also what you're going to use for almost every team. Speaking of which, this leads into categories.
Categories are like those lunch scenes in high school movies, where the new kid walks in and they see all these different marginalized groups. You got the Asians, you got the goths, you got the nerds, you got the satanic cult over there sacrificing some other student, and you got the weird kids. Okay, now let's talk about link skills. Link skills, very simple. They're little boosts that each unit gets by being next to each other in a rotation. That is literally it. I could not come up with anything funny for here. I'm done. Let's talk about gameplay. Except let's not talk about gameplay, because I accidentally forgot something. Let's talk about passive skills. Passive skills are very simple, just like link skills. Another thing that I can't come up with a joke for. Passive skills are just passive boosts that each unit can give based on whatever their passive skill is. Now, passive skills can have a wider range of effects, and they can range from transformations to just basic boosts, and it really all depends on what unit you're using. Just make sure to check your passive skill, because it can be the decision on whether you put something on a team. Anyways, now we can get into gameplay. Now you, yes you, loyal viewer watching this video, you have been preparing for this good old gameplay, so let me give you the rundown.
Let's talk about typings, because these are kind of important. It all starts with intelligence, which I know most of you in the audience can't relate. Second of all is technique. Fun fact, intelligence beats technique. And technique beats agility, that of which being our next typing. And agility beats STR, also known as strength, and STR beats physical. Now, all of these have two types of variants. Those being extreme and super. Extremes representing the villains of the show, and super representing the heroes.
Okay, now, the reason why typings are important is because they lead into leader skills and passive skills. Because certain leader skills and certain passive skills can only boost certain typings, or they'll only boost a certain type of unit, like extreme or super. Now, this is all just, it's kinda not super important, but if you're working with certain teams, you might need to consider this. So just make sure that you check the typings of the team. I try and keep my stuff well balanced, but there's always the chance that you're gonna need something that's kinda monotype, like if you're doing Super Battle Road. So just make sure that you look at the stuff, okay? Okay.
Okay, so as an example of gameplay, we're going to be doing the Pure Destruction and Carnage event. As you can see, you're going to be greeted with this when you enter an event. This is your friend unit. You're always going to need a friend unit unless it is specifically something that doesn't allow you to have a friend unit. Now, your friend unit is usually going to be a secondary leader of some kind, so you're going to have maybe... if you have a transformation boost team, you're going to have another transformation boost leader. And since I'm using a Majin Buu Saga team right now, we're going to have a Majin Buu Saga leader. This is my team. It's free to play. I'm just trying to level up their link skills. Anyways, as you can see, this is my deck. And you can just have... in this area, you can just, overview all your characters and stuff like that. And you also get to set up your items. Now, your support items, you only get a limited amount of them, and you kind of want to conserve them if you're doing hard events. So make sure that you know what items to bring, because sometimes you'll just bring something that's completely useless, or you'll waste something that you're gonna need in later. A little tidbit I forgot to mention is that if you want to, you can press this little green button in the top right corner of your deck and just switch out the characters whenever you want. Okay, with that all being said, let's hop on in. As you can see, whenever you start a game, you're going to be greeted with this grid. Now, since I'm a bigger player, I've gotten all these super cool units and stuff like that. I don't really have to care about getting these items. But when you're starting out, I do really recommend that you grab these items because they can help you out in the future. Of course, you move around the grid by pressing these numbered buttons, and those 3 things at the bottom we'll get into when we actually start the battle. When you start a battle, you're going to be greeted with this. Now, this is a rotation. Let's start with the bottom here because this is going to be a lot more nuanced. The bottom is where all your units are. This is where you're going to see all your characters, and this is what we like to call a rotation. Now, rotations are just whatever given units you have on a certain turn. You basically have an infinite amount of turns if you're you're never going to really run out of turns. You're never going to have to worry about that unless it's a specific event that has something special about it. But we're not going to get into that right now. Anyways, so you can just move them around, and you see the little faces of Super Buu down there. That's the enemy attacker. So that's just how many times he's going to attack. You can count if you want, but most of the time you're just going to look at the stats using this wheel over here. Now, if you press this wheel, you can see all these units, and you can see their stats. And as you can see, the best defensive unit right now is my friend unit, the LR that I brought with me. Now, I would put him in front, and he would take the full brunt of the attacks, and because he's super good, he's not going to really feel anything. Anyways, below them, the initial rotation, you're going to find your HP bar. And your HP bar is also super important. That's your HP. That's how much that's how much health you have, and if it starts going low, you know that your team was probably crappy and you're a failure. Anyways, underneath the HP bar, though, is the dokkan meter. Now, the dokkan meter is not really important right now, but let's just say it gathers energy, and when it has enough energy, you can do a really big super attack that in later events will be almost completely useless because they have defense that is broken. And just underneath that is the item bar. Press that, boom, you have your items. You can press whatever you want and, use it. But we're not going to use any items this because I am a mad lad. Now, let's finally get to the giant thing of bubbles in front of you. Alright, due to complications I had to restart the match, but let's not let that get in the way. Let's talk about these balls. Now, you're going to have to learn how to handle these balls if you want to get good, but I'm pretty sure most of you are already proficient in that. Anyways, as you can see, they're all kind of colored. And if you notice, they're colored to the same typing that each of these guys have. Now, the reason that they're like that is because when you press one, it gives you ki. And the little ring around your units, see that? Kind of sectioned off ring? That is your ki meter. And when it goes to full, you get a super attack. Now, as you can see, I have 2 units that are going to get their super attack, and 1 that won't. Now, you might be thinking, if you're, kind of dumb, that you need to get ki of only the same typing. But no, you can get key of any typing. It's only that if you get key of the same typing, you get double the key. So, you know, it's recommended that you get key of the same typing. Also, getting key is how you boost the dokkan meter. So, yeah. So, let's just finish off this rotation here. And as you can see, then you just watch the fireworks. I love the super attack. Gohan's awesome. And that's a dead boss. Now, most bosses in actual hard stages are going to have more phases like this. But right now, we're not going to talk about any of that. So, yeah, that's about it when it comes to gameplay.
Anyways, I guess that's it. Maybe I'll cover something else in another video. But anyways, I've been Killer 10, and this was... What? You retard! You didn't even talk about any of the stuff that we really want to know about. How do we get summons? Seriously, this entire thing was how to play if you're poor. But you didn't even, just like, what is wrong with you? What is this video even about? Talking about basic gameplay? Anyone could have learned that from the tutorial. You're a friggin' idiot. Who the
I mean, really, who even likes you? Your content's trash, your videos are terrible. Why are you even here? Why haven't you stopped making content yet? You didn't even talk about the...
Well, that's a dead body I have to dispose of now. Pretty sure the cops are on their way. If you really want to know how to get stones and stuff like that, just do the story. Story missions, they're probably the easiest way to get stones. If you run out of story missions, there's easy A's. And currently there's this stone event going on, but that's going to be like gone next week, so I wouldn't recommend trying to do that now. Other than that, I guess just story, missions, and easy A's. That's how you get stones. After you've exhausted all of those resources, you just wait until they give out free stones for big celebrations. That's it. Anyways, I'm Killer 10G5, and Geronimo.
Sir, put your hands in the air.
Not going back.